Hi everyone, my name's Frank and I'm mainly fed up. So this wasn't how I originally anticipated making my first video. I was originally going to do an introductory video and just kind of put some of my thoughts and feelings out there and how I arrived to talking to a camera for strangers on the internet. Uh, but recently, Maine's made national news again for nothing positive. Um, so if you weren't aware, just last week, a transgendered athlete won first place in the pole vault competition. And just over this past weekend, another transgendered athlete won, I believe it was third place in cross country skiing. I don't understand why this is something that Democrats are actively pushing for and advocating for. But if this is the hill they want to die on, then so be it. This should be a no-brainer for any parent who has a daughter who's an athlete, or for anyone who's been an athlete at any level. Um, there's biological difference between boys and girls. I mean, as they say, trust the science. Um, they're stronger, they're faster, they're more aggressive, and they're just biologically built different. So I don't understand why it's so questionable to have a biological male compete against biological females. It's just, there should be no question at all, honestly. So, I mean, it's rather frustrating to see people who may have never participated in sports or who maybe only recreationally played sports try and make the argument that there's no difference. There is. It's why Title IX is a thing, to be honest, because women cannot compete against men. There's no rules stopping women from competing in men's sports. They just can't. I mean, sure, you'll get the rare female who can, in fact, compete in some of the non-contact sports, but for the most part, they don't really stand much of a chance. I mean, heck, I don't know if everyone remembers. I think it was the under 14 boys soccer team that beat the United States women's national team. So teenagers beat grown adult females in soccer. So to think that there's going to be no difference, it's absolutely mind-boggling to me that this is something that needs to just be questioned. I have a daughter myself, and hopefully when she gets old enough to play sports in high school, she was going to have a level field to compete in and be only against girls. The fact that there's some people who think it's fair for a biological male to compete against females, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like I said, there's actual differences. If you've ever played any sports at all, you know that there's differences, and you would be lying to yourself if you said that there were not. Recently, I got into an argument on Newsbreak, which incidentally is how this whole complaining on the internet thing started, with a woman who said she competed against her brothers, or she used to play sports with her brothers when she was younger, which, if you have siblings, you know that's a whole different level of competition between siblings and competitive sports. What I also think people don't understand is that high school sports are crucial for student athletes who want to go on and compete in colleges. So there's lots of scholarships and grants that are awarded to students based on their high school performances. And if you have a biological male taking these spots away from females, they're not going to have the same opportunities for scholarships, grants, access to colleges. I mean, what was it? What did I say? I think it was the third place cross country skier was a male this past weekend. There's a girl who lost out on placing on the podium because there was a biological male that she was competing against. And honestly, all the girls in these sports should just decline and say they're not going to compete against a male. I know it's hard to see how that's going to work out, especially with how divisive of an issue gender ideology has become. But I think people just need to stand firm for what they believe and realize that nothing's going to change if you just keep allowing other people to take advantage of you. Now in Maine, sure, I think Janet said it was a state law that allows men to compete with women in sports, which fine. It's a law, but it's not fair. And also at the expense of, or rather, consequently, because she's allowing biological males to compete with females, every other student in the state is going to lose out because there's a few students who want to compete as girls. Now you might say, but isn't that fair? Shouldn't they be able to self-identify? Sure, self-identify whatever you want. Just you can't play sports. You can't play sports against girls if you're a biological male. I mean, it shouldn't even be a question, to be honest. But I don't know where we go from here. I think that the only reasonable thing to do is start an open division if you feel the need that high schoolers need to compete as male and female together, or you run the risk of girls' sports becoming JV sports for boys, which then again, we might as well just get rid of Title IX altogether. Anyway, like I said, this was my first video. Hopefully, I get a little bit better at talking to a camera online and, things improve. But I just want people to realize that it's okay to speak out against things that you don't believe in and that you find to be outside of maybe not your comfort zone, but outside of things you're okay with. I mean, all they have is name calling at this point, and they've called everyone the worst things imaginable for the longest period of time. And to quote Rick and Morty, your boos mean nothing because I've seen what makes you cheer. So thank you. Please like, share, subscribe. You can find me on Rumble, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook as Mainly Fed Up. So look me up, join, and hopefully we can turn Maine around together. Thanks.